Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome to today's video. Today I wanted to talk to you about chain waxing. Riveting subject. However, look, I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about this. I've got to wax a couple of chains today, 4 chains actually in total, because mine are all a little bit dry. I've been waxing chains on my bike now for probably close to a year, and I must be honest, ever since I switched away from lube onto chain wax, the results have been absolutely brilliant. There's much less fussing around once you've actually done the initial piece of work. Longevity around your chains and your cassettes is a lot better. I haven't replaced a cassette or a chain in over a year. Last time I checked them, they still have plenty of life in them as well. And just no more grease. And if you've got kids, young kids like I have, that are super interested in your bikes, my kids can touch a chain now and they're not going to get greasy hands, they're not going to get dirt or oil all over the hands, for example. So for me, I absolutely love it. If you're watching this within Australia, the guy that you need to talk to is Adam over at Zero Friction Cycling in Adelaide. He is super helpful. I have ordered all of my stuff from him. All of my new chains come from him. He offers a service where he will wax chains first and foremost, get all the factory grease off them, do an initial wax for you, send it over, and then the only thing that you really need to do from there is basically have your Molten Speed Wax in your hot pot, and when you need to re-wax your chain, turn the slow cooker on and switch it out and give it a re-wax, and you're good to go. So you don't really need to use any of the chemicals or anything like that. So if you're interested in moving over to utilising wax, reach out to Adam at Zero Friction Cycling. There's a great article on cycling tips as well, which I'll chuck in the link below, and would highly recommend it. Anyway, I'm going to show you how I go about doing the waxing on my chains. So at the moment I've got 2 bikes, I've got 4 chains basically, and I switch them between, basically I do all 4 at once pretty much, and then that way I've got a replacement chain ready to go. So let's take you through the process. Alright, it's pretty dark in my garage, but I'll do my best. Now, if you would have seen my cover photo for this video, some of the key things I've got: bent coat hanger to act as your swishing hook, to get your chains obviously waxed and pull them out. I've got a set of rubber gloves to stop yourself from your hands being burnt. I've got my Woolworths crock pot. I think that was 20 bucks from Woolies. And then obviously I've got my Molten Speed Wax. Now, the other thing is that you will need a set of quick link fixes. So a set of these from Park Tools. I've got these ones, they're super good. Never had any problems with them yet. Now, what I do to make sure that I know which chains are which, I've got 2 resealable bags written with the name of my bikes on there, so I know obviously which chain is for which bike. Now, when you are re-waxing, and Adam will tell you this as well, but when you are re-waxing your chains, I don't tend to bother with waxing the quick links. And the other thing that you will want, obviously, before you put them on your bike, you'll need to get a cassette or like a piece of dowel or something like that to run your chain, to obviously get some flexibility in the links. If you let them dry without manipulating the links, it can get really clunky when you're putting it back onto the bike. It's perfectly doable, but I'd recommend grabbing a wheel with a cassette on it and just running the chain through that. Alright, the other thing that you're definitely going to need is somewhere to rest the chains once they've come out of the hot pot. So I just use my park stand, let the chains sit on that for about 15 minutes until they cool off, and then you can start to manipulate the links so that they go back on the bike really well. Right, first thing we're going to do is we are going to put a chain through, we're going to get our gloves on and we're going to put one of our chains through the swishing tool. A little bit cramped for space in this garage with the bikes on my turbo trainer and all the rest of it, but anyway. So here is the chain for my giant propel. Got my gloves on already, as you can see, and it is in need of a wax. The other one on the bike's actually in need of a wax as well. We'll do that a little bit later. So what we're going to do, get the links, typically go through the outside links, start to thread it up like this. You can see, And what's going to happen is when you chuck this into the hot wax, which has been heating up for about an hour or so, maybe a little bit longer, what's going to happen is it's going to melt off all the old wax that's on there and basically recoat it once again. So you only need to swish it around for maybe 10 to 15 seconds in there, pull it out, and then basically get it on the get it onto your drying apparatus or whatever it is that you've got to dry them. Another thing that can work quite well, you've got a hot couple of nails in a wall, you can hang the chains on there really well. If you're doing this inside or somewhere like that, you might want to put something underneath the chains when you hang them so that the wax that drips off doesn't obviously damage your floors or carpet or anything like that. Alright, so we're going to chuck this in the wax and then we're going to give it a clean and get it all going. So what we're doing is we're just agitating it, getting all the old wax off, getting it fresh, and then we're going to pull it back out in a second. Alright. I'm probably going to make a bit of a mess on the floor here, but never mind. So at the moment, as you can see, that is basically dripping with wax, as you can see, and we're just going to take this outside to get it on the line. Probably thinking, why should I bother waxing? What's the benefits if you're not racing or anything like that? Well, like I mentioned earlier, I think one of the key benefits is if you've got young kids like I do, you know, my son's super interested in my bike when I pull it out. I think the opportunity for, you know, he likes to touch it and all the rest of it, which is fine. But certainly he can touch the chain and you don't need to worry about him getting really dirty hands or anything like that, which I think that's certainly one of the big benefits for me. The other thing is as well, you know, if you've read any of the stuff by Adam at Zero Friction Cycling, I think, you know, certainly the chains perform better for longer. Once you've done the initial waxing process, it's really quite easy to keep on doing it, and so you don't need to keep on using wet lube or dry lube or, you know, anything which really isn't penetrating into the actual chain itself. Yeah, Alan's done a whole bunch of research. It's all on his website. There's heaps of benefits from an efficiency point of view. You know, it's saving around watts and all the rest of it, which is awesome as well. But for me, it's the practicalities around it. And yeah. Now I'm going to carry on with the other three chains that I've got on here. I'll quickly show you what this whole one's doing, and then we're going to wrap up the video. So as we can see, this chain is now completely solid and dry. It is ready to be basically have the links manipulated so it will go on the bike nice and easy. Now to do that, I've got the wheel with a cassette on it just ready to go, and what we're going to do is we're going to run that chain through that cassette and basically get those links agitated. We're going to run the chain through the cassette. It's nice and easy. Sorry, that noise you can hear is my cat. Sorry about that. Anyway, so look, what we've done is you can see we've ran the chain through the cassette. It's nice and manipulated now, so it will go back on the bike really, really easy. What we're then going to do is we're going to take this with the quick links, chuck it on the bike, and basically you're good to go. Adam recommends you ride in the small ring, no hard pressure on the pedals for a couple of minutes just to really make sure you loosen it off. You're probably going to get some wax flakes on your bike, so just give them a wipe off with a whatchamacallit, baby wipe. There we go. Yeah, give it a wipe off with the baby wipe around the seat stays and chain stays and that type of thing. But basically you'll be good to go for about 500 k's, 800 kilometers now without needing to switch it over. And if you're running multiple chains like I do, then you only need to do a re-wax every month or so, and yeah, basically you're good to go. So that's the reason why I like using Molten Speed Wax on my bike. Super clean, super easy, really efficient, no more wet lubes, kind of destroying your drive chain, getting all gritty and yucky and any of that type of stuff. So anyway, hope you liked today's video. Catch you at the next one.